Eagles coming back with nice mojo and vibes after the come-from-behind victory over the San Francisco Giants on Sunday. And the Ravens with the Indianapolis Colts this week for some more what we like to call fake football. This poor SOB locked himself down with NFL Network all weekend and watched fake football cover to cover. He is life liver, beer drinker, and E-Draft head editor at Sportsnaut as well as at Forbes. You can follow his journey out on Twitter at Vincent Frank NFL. And somewhere in between there, you're watching NFL preseason the way my wife is imbibing water polo and diving, synchronized diving, Vincent Frank. What's going on, man? How's life out there on the West Coast, man?
Hey, not bad, man. Not bad. About to move to Vegas. So, yeah.
You and the Raiders, too, huh?
Yeah, man, they're going to follow me. It's all set up.
Well, it is fascinating time, and I guess we should start the weekend. If we're doing a real review, my wife and I went out to dinner on short notice on Saturday night. I wanted to go up to Atlantic City and see Buffett on the beach. We thought about going to see Rick Emmett down at Rams Head and play some Triumph song. But instead, we're at Roost Chris Pier 5, having a little bottle of wine and a steak on a Saturday night. I look up, and I didn't have the sound on, but it was all the grandeur of the Los Angeles Coliseum and the Rams coming back to L.A. And I know out your way, that's a big story. And certainly for the Raiders, for the Chargers, for everyone else. It was quite a show, right? I mean, the Rams over these 8 months, whether it's bringing in the veteran, the old Rams guys and playing in the Coliseum, there is a nostalgic kick going on out there with that football team right now, right?
Oh, there is. And you saw it, the attendance Saturday night and how awesome it was. You had the commissioner there. You had the fans there, a lot of Cowboy fans, obviously. And it was nice seeing the Rams play outdoors at home. And I don't want to be subjective about it, but listen, they didn't belong in St. Louis. It just didn't seem like Ram football in St. Louis. Indoors, it has Edward Jones Dome.
We felt that way when the Colts went to Indianapolis.
Yeah, exactly. And so to have them back and have football back in the nation's second largest media market, it was huge. And it was the first time since '79 the Rams had played at the Coliseum as a home team because they played at Angel Stadium for the last 15 years. So in Los Angeles. So it was really nice to see. I know there's fans in St. Louis that are upset about it, but it seemed natural to have football back in Los Angeles.
Well, I'll tell you what, part of this, this heartwarming story and all that overlies the fact that the Rams probably are going to stink this year, and Jeff Fisher's probably going to be now in his 22nd year as an NFL head coach, only making the playoffs 6 times. But the part of fake football, we sat and watched the Ravens the other night. I don't know whether to make heads or tails, and Flacco never walked on the field. For a lot of these teams, we don't know much, but I know this much, and I know you led with this, and this was the lead story all weekend. The Patriots are going to play a couple games here without Tom Brady, and how Garoppolo looks here in the preseason will play a part in how people draft for fantasy, feel about the Patriots, feel about the AFC East. There's a lot of interest in Patriot preseason football that wouldn't normally be there.
Oh, of course. And listen, from a fantasy perspective, the way Garoppolo played and the way we've seen in the preseason the first couple of years with him in the NFL, you should feel comfortable picking Garoppolo to start the first 4 games and then getting Tom Brady late, mid to late round in the draft, because Garoppolo, the Patriots did not dumb down their offense. And that's what I wanted to see what they would do with Belichick and McDaniels. Would they dumb down the offense? Would they make it fit Garoppolo instead of Brady? They didn't do that. A lot of short passes, a lot of timing routes, very high volume of passes. So there's a lot going on there in terms of what Garoppolo did. He threw the ball 18 times, almost, 200 yards?
Well, that's what they want to see. I mean, that's the game planning to get him out there and stretch it out in games that don't matter and get him some good looks, because he's going to have to go in there and, play for a legend for a couple of weeks. And if he delivers an 0-4 or a 1-3, it certainly changes the Patriots this year.
It changes the Patriots 100%. Listen, I focused on it during the offseason. The Patriots are really good when they have home field advantage in the playoffs. They're not when they don't. And I'm talking about when they end up as the number 1 seed. That's when they made it to that. Every year they made it to the Super Bowl, they were a number 1 seed that year.
He is Vincent Frank. You can follow his journey out on Twitter, Vincent Frank NFL. He's also at eDraft.com as well as at Sportsnaut, writing about the National Football League. So, for the Patriots and where they are, part of that also is where are the Bills? And we're going to see them in Week 1. Where are the Jets at this point and not having their quarterbacking situation sort of firmed up before last week? And more than that, I mean, the Dolphins look like they might really stink, right?
Yeah, and there's issues there with the Dolphins. We have no idea who the running back's going to be. Ryan Tannehill regrets last year. Now, was it the coaching? I don't know. The defense. I mean, Sue was not the player they expected him to be. He had a kind of an eventful offseason. I mean, he didn't show up for offseason activities instead of working with a Nike camp. Rubbed a lot of teammates the wrong way. I saw one of their beat writers tweet out that Byron Maxwell didn't play. He's the best corner on the team. Well, when Byron Maxwell is your best corner, you have a problem. And so there's a lot going on there. And it's going to be on Ryan Tannehill to prove that he can be a franchise quarterback. He did not do that last year. The team did not help him. That's a last-place team. And then with Buffalo, you have injuries left and right. And that's where you have to, you have the suspension to Carlos Williams. You have LaShawn McCoy's injury concerns from last year. You have with Sammy Watkins, who's just a walking injury. And there's a lot going on in Buffalo and Miami where the Patriot fans should be happy because, they don't have Tom Brady for the first quarter of the season, but they're still the Patriots. That's the biggest concern.
Yeah, all eyes over the weekend on Wentz. And look, man, that's a tough situation all the way around, right?
Yeah.
So, for how many draft picks were out, for the kind of market it is there. My boy Jimmy Schwartz is up there trying to swim with that defense, and Peterson coming in. I don't know what the Eagles are doing. I find them to be the fascinating team of the offseason for the moves they made and the justification of all that. And now taking a kid from North Dakota State and dropping him into the deep end and that fan base. It really is. This is going to be a fascinating case experiment over the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I had a lot of people talking to me about, Carson Wentz is not going to have a learning curve because he played at a pro-style offense at North Dakota State. He played at North Dakota State. That's a learning curve right there. Sorry, the level of competition was coming up. I don't care if it was the greatest show on turf. The level of competition he was going up against is completely different. And I'm talking when he's playing third-string defenses in the preseason. That's better competition than you played at North Dakota State.
Well, certainly the speed of the game, right? I mean, the speed of the game moves at an otherworldly pace for a guy at that level.
And he had a couple good throws, but you got to realize defenses are adept at getting to quarterbacks from the interior of the defensive line. They want to do that because even veteran quarterbacks struggle. The interception that he threw against Tampa Bay was interior pressure. They're going to keep on bringing that to him until he learns how to step strong in the pocket. He did not do that on Thursday night. So there's a lot of issues with Carson Wentz and that game translating. Now he's probably not going to play for the rest of the preseason due to injury. He's not playing in the regular season, from what I know. That's a lost year for a guy you traded so much for to move up to number 2. There's just a lot going on there. You want to blame Chip Kelly for everything that happened. Well, Chip Kelly was a heck of a coach. He was not a good general manager, but he was a heck of a coach.
Well, and he's now taking that out San Francisco.
Yeah, well, they had 300. I know it's preseason, but on Sunday night they had 300 yards in the first half. I know it's the preseason, but they didn't have 300 yards in the game last year. Now I'm being sarcastic, but you're going to blame Chip Kelly all you want, but he was a good coach. He led them to 10 wins 2 consecutive years. Do we know Peterson's going to be a better in-game coach than Chip Kelly? We don't. Period. And there's a lot of issues there. And the front office is still in flux. I mean, you trade up all those picks to go up number 2 for a small school quarterback that you don't want to play as a rookie. I'm not too sold on that.
Vincent Frank, NFL is the way to follow him out on Twitter as well as at Sportsnaut. He's out there blogging and writing all the time. I mean, we saw Ryan Mallett play here on Thursday night, throw kind of a gnarly pick that, an NFL quarterback shouldn't be throwing. And he beat the Steelers last year for better or for worse. It sort of messed up our draft position. I don't think he's going to make the field this year, and obviously a couple of organizations for him. So you sort of pass judgment on a guy from, the first quarter of a first preseason game. We're all looking for some sort of signs of life from rookie players, from defenses, and that we're expecting to be better this year. The Miles Jack thing was interesting, and I think for individual players to come out and play really well in a preseason game, it becomes a headline, and I guess it becomes a little bit of a spotlight to say, well, we thought he was special all along, right?
Well, yeah. If you look at Miles Jack, you knew the guy was good at UCLA. You knew he flew around the field, and the guy started playing. He was a running back when he first started at UCLA. He was playing linebacker. We knew the talent was there. It was all about the knee and the ability of it to hold up long term. Talent-wise, he's a top 5 pick. Now, there's obviously no injuries there right now. He looks healthy. I mean, he laid the wood in his debut. I know he only finished with two tackles, but he played really well in the limited amount of snaps that he played. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how the Jaguars use him moving forward. Is he going to be starting by week 8? If not, is Post Leslie going to be starting? I mean, look at the upside between the two. You got to go with Jack. You got Dante Fowler Jr. dominating on defense during training camp, and then you obviously have Dante Fowler and the 2 veterans Jacksonville added. That defense has an opportunity to be really, really, really good. It just depends on how slow they're going to bring along the 3 young players.
Well, and the Jaguars in general, I think, have a lot of juice on them this year. There's been a lot of talk about all the high draft picks, about Bortles. We saw them last year, the big wide receivers they have. Other than the Raiders, I don't think there's any team that I've talked about more in the offseason as, well, we better look out for them. They might win 10 or 11 games this year.
Oh, yeah, and that division's up for grabs. Houston, how do we know Brock Osweiler and Lamar Miller are going to do well in the backfield? We don't. But we don't know Will Fuller and Braxton Miller are going to step up behind DeAndre Hopkins. How is J.J. Watt going to come back from the injury? There's a lot of question marks for Houston. Indy, we already know that there's a lot of question marks there. They have a 33-year-old running back they're relying on with absolutely nothing behind him. A quarterback coming back from injury. No defense to speak of. Tennessee's a mess. So there's a really good chance that Jacksonville could actually come out on top. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders win the West and the Jaguars win the South. I really wouldn't.
Boy, would that be a daily double, right? That's a Vegas dream there. Hey, it's about to become a draft time, right? So we're all going to get together at our local Buffalo Wild Wings, wherever we do our drafting and have the parties and stuff. I know you deal in the fantasy space a little bit as well. For fantasy players, what do you take out of these preseason games as far as drafting?
I think you take out running back competition, who's getting more touches against the first team. I think you take out the young players, especially at positions where they can make impacts immediately. Sterling Shepard with the Giants, Laquan Treadwell, Michael Thomas. You look at how they fit in moving forward in the preseason. Hopefully you're not drafting until probably after week 3 of the preseason or closer to the regular season, so you can see how the depth charts play out, what players get first-team reps. Local to Baltimore, I've been pushing this for a long time. Kenneth Dixon played extremely well. He had a good 20-yard run. He was one of my favorite running backs in the draft. Much more upside, in my opinion, than Justin Forsett or Buck Allen or even Terrence West. Look at how the Ravens give him, Dixon, first-team reps in camp practice or during the preseason. And if he's running with the first team a lot when it comes to week 3 of the preseason, pick him up. He has running back one upside. So you have to look at the trends, where the players are playing, the youngsters, and if they're getting their first team reps moving forward in the preseason.
Hey, man, it's always great having you on. We'll be following you out on Twitter at Vincent Frank NFL. Good luck with your move down there to Vegas. Don't spend all your money there at the tables, but I love me some Vegas, Vince, I tell you. So good move for you. We're hoping to get out there to see the Stones in October, man.
Nice, man. That should be fun. Maybe we can hook up for a beer.
Or maybe 2.
Yeah.
Vince, thanks for coming on, man.
All right, Nestor. Appreciate it, man.
You got it. Vincent Frank, NFL is the way to follow him out on Twitter. Life Liver, beer drinker, E-Draft head editor out at Sportsnaut, as well as Forbes and Yard Barker. You can find me in the Bahia Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world, and we're always out on social media. So don't forget, when the Orioles are coming back and hitting home runs, and Jonathan Scopes bringing them back on a Sunday night, we're out on Twitter making it happen. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, and nasty at WNST.net. I am a very available individual, and every morning I'll send you the morning newspaper at 7 a.m. directly to your email inbox. The WNST morning newspaper is powered up by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. Still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life, and there's a Planet Fitness right around the corner from you. Last but never least, breaking news happens first right here on the WNST Tech Service. It is brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. It's not always good news. Sometimes it's bad news. Sometimes it's DL. Sometimes it's Darren O'Day. Sometimes it's a trade. But you always get it first. We always keep you in the loop. Now, a decade strong and the best service we have, the WNST Tech Service. Check it out. All brought to you by Coons Ford. Dennis will be here on Thursday driving you home. We got great stuff happening all week long as we prepare for another Ravens preseason game, and the Birds coming back home to get some home cooking. We all know they're a little better at home. Red Sox and Astros this week, and we're trying somehow, some way to cool off around here. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.